I'm gonna just get into it here back in the master bedroom, which I haven't had the wherewithal to call it my bedroom yet. I mentioned before I don't really want to get back in here, but this is a space that I need to be able to get into to move out of the closet or the bedroom that I've been sleeping in for over the last 2 years. I am Larissa at prodigalpieces.com. Before I get going, I invite you to sign up for my email newsletter. You can do it within anywhere the blog, and it gets you connected because you can't always count on social media. And I don't spam you, I don't give your information away, just want to create a family. You saw me cleaning up some tunnels and things. My daughter, youngest one, had set up some tunnels and fun for the cats, particularly Ivan, to play in here as we're having cabin fever. Taking down curtains, starting fresh, starting a new slate. And as you can imagine with anything, going through a divorce/disillusion, also going no contact with my narcissist parent and some family who's also supporting said narcissist. There's been a lot on my plate, and I'm letting myself be. Just taking things one bite at a time. Processing, learning. I've also dealing with the understanding of autism within my kids and my family and how that all came about, and just a lot of toxic relationships in my life. I've had to stop friendships with certain people that I realized were just abusing me as well. I feel like I've been a target for that because of the NARC training, I call it, I had from my NARC parent. So working in this room has a lot of levels to it. You've got the DIYer in me who wants to do this because it needs done. It's been a mess. It hasn't been taken care of in here for a couple years. That hurts because I worked hard to keep it nice. I've been in this house for since 2003. So a lot of years, and I've done a lot of tears, sweat, blood, so on, laughs even. But to get back in here and to just not only clean it up, repair it, but make it a different story for me. Hard to walk in here and not have certain negative memories come back. Wanting to just restore and make it my own. So I'll be sharing as I go here, but do know God is working. I trust Him. I trust Him in all things, and I know it's going to be for the best. I'll be honest that finding this filth really makes me angry. The only word I can use to describe it, and that I'm having to clean it up. Someone else didn't do the work, and that's okay. It's at least I'm able to get it done. Through this transition time, I've been learning a lot about myself and different aspects that you would say are making up Larissa. The person that I kind of don't know at the moment, because a lot of my things were from NARC training. I deal with misophonia, which is, you can look that up, but it has to do with being abused and having issues with sounds. And also different things that I learned how to do with being raised by a narcissist parent. So a lot of people think, oh, the divorce is the worst thing. Of course, the divorce is horrible and awful, and what I've had to learn through that. But having realized that I married somebody that I did because of the narcissist, and that this has been since my birth, that's been the harder pill to swallow. And working through and trying to understand my spot, where I'm at, and where I'm headed. I can't encourage you enough to find healthy help. There is therapists out there, but there aren't ones that always understand the narcissist's upbringing or relationships or autistic, neurodivergent. It's really key that you find somebody that understands all of that in one fell swoop. What's also been hard is coming to the realization of my role in all of this because of my lack of understanding of what I had grown up in and also how it affected my children. My parenting, I think my children are doing great. That I think I've given them the best that I can in everything, and trust that we're only headed forward, that this whole line of family junk that has been in my family for generations is going to stop here. What I'm doing here is cutting off the brads that had blown through the wall from my daughter's bedroom remodel when somebody nailed too long of brads through and didn't take care of it. So I got to cut all those off, patch, and then paint, and then I should be good to go. Speaking of patching, I'm learning a lot about healthy boundaries. I know that's a hot topic today in our society, boundaries, and how to be true to me, to myself. And it's amazing how I'm getting healthier, how much I realize there are so many unhealthy people around me. And that's not a judgment call. That's literally, I didn't realize how much I was letting happen to me. And it's been invigorating in a way to understand that I can do something about this, that I can actually have identity, my own agency, to be myself, to speak up for myself, to set a limit on things, and to understand that I am a super empath. I was probably already leaning that way, but was created so by having a narcissist parent, a covert Christian, quote unquote, narcissist parent. So I have a lot of misteachings from within the church that kept me in a marriage that was not great, and just kept letting it go, and have learned that I can just change my path and move forward.
Okay, just sanded the closet. We'll get to start painting here because I've got the caulking and all that done. But think I might install my light fixture I got because it might help me decide whether or not I want to do anything with these beams. Half of me doesn't care, but the other half of me just wants to have a totally different memory in here as far as looking up at the ceiling. I'm laying in bed. So more to come on that. But again, I might do a couple different things I mentioned in my previous video, but bedroom's still a mess. The clothes I had to take out, my tools. Gonna clean up and then get started with just touching up the paint.
Just a reminder to those joining in that haven't been around for my house remodels, I live in a Gunnison home, which is a 1952 home that was a catalog home built for people coming out of the war. So it's not drywall walls, it's actually wood panels. And it's a sturdy enough built home, but it's definitely not a stick built.
You never know how unappealing you look until you have a camera facing upwards. Just opened my light fixture and I'm irritated because I was at the hardware store and didn't realize I didn't have bulbs. So I'm going with, if you haven't figured, a kind of minimal boho-ish style in this room. I wanted something simple, and most of them only come with one bulb, but this is a 3-light chandelier. Don't you know? I just gave away a pack of bulbs that would have fit this, and I was just at the hardware store this morning, could have packed up another pack of bulbs. So I think I'll go ahead and wire it in and get it up, but then I won't be able to check it until I go get bulbs. So.
When we moved into this house, there was not overhead lighting in the bedrooms or in many of the rooms. And one of the things I wanted to remedy as we were working through the house on different remodels is to put a light fixture up above. So if you were to walk into a bedroom, you would have had an outlet dedicated to the light switch that was there by the entry of the door. So in order to run power to that light fixture, you had to run from the switch to the fixture to the outlet. And when I took down my chandeliers, back when I sold them off, I thought I had the wiring down because I've done it so many times, but going to put this back up was hell, I'll be honest. I've got vertigo, bilateral vertigo, so I'm already tipsy-turvy up on the top of the ladder there, and I couldn't remember. I knew that you had to have the one wire running straight to the switch and the other had to have a broken circuit so that you could turn it off and on with a switch. But for whatever reason, it took me a bazillion trips to the breaker to turn it off and on to check my stinking work. But I persevered, got it done, and I'm glad I can say hallelujah.
Okay, so I don't typically read the instruction manual unless there's something really different about this fixture because they're all pretty straightforward, but I'm not getting this completely flush, so they would call it a semi-flush. In order to do that, I've got all this extra length and I need to trim it down to where I want. And any person who's not really sure would want to say leave extra so that you can always, if you make a mistake, trim it back. So I'm just going to cut it to length here, giving myself wiggle room that I can always tuck up into the fixture securely up in there, and then hopefully we're good to go. Like I said, I won't be able to check it until I get bulbs, which is really stupid, but oh well, it's DIY, I do it when I can. I normally have a wire stripper tool. That was taken, and so I now just have my regular pliers. I'll just be using that to snip and then hopefully pulling back enough of the outer coating of the wire to make sure I can get it on there. And then whenever I put these together with the caps, at the end there's some already up there I'll just reuse. You put this on, twist in the wires, and then you take electrical tape and go around it, just in a security when you're putting the fixture back up so it doesn't pop off and you don't want to spark a fire. All right.
When I'm using these pliers, I'm basically nicking that plastic coating around the wire just to get enough so I don't cut through the wire itself, and then I slide the sleeve off and I work on to the next wire. When you're doing a light fixture, you've got a positive wire, a negative wire, and a grounding wire. The grounding wire is typically green or copper. In this instance, it's neither, but you would have a grounding screw that you would need to attach it to, and of course, attach your positive to your negative. But in my instance, you've got the power coming up from the outlet, so I have extra wires in there, and that's what threw me for a loop. Plus, I literally was getting kind of nauseous because I was swaying so much up on the ladder, but like I said, I did get it figured out.
We'll see.
Okay, honestly, this is murder. You can see the way I rock when I'm up here, right? That's my vertigo. So this is how fun it was for me. I'm not making that up to install this. So the box up here was sticking out with our original chandelier, and I think what I'm going to do, which was done before, you can take a strip of veneer, a roll of veneer that I iron on. You can see in my past blog post, stick it in there and match it, and you won't even know that it's there. So, yay.
Yeah, so like a dunce, I dumped my can. Good times.
Okay, so closet is painted, put my clothes back in, and added more clothes that were stored in plastic tubs and in my hall closet for last few years. So it's nice to have it back on a curtain rod. My question is, at the moment, I bought paint. This is called Swan Wing, to just touch up the paint. But me being me, wanting to have something different, I'm debating on putting sort of a chair rail, which normally would go about 32 inches up the wall if you have an 8-foot ceiling. But something that might divide the room about in half and then do a dark color below. I have a vision. I'm wanting to do this. I'm going to do some tape and measuring to see if this is something I really want to do. So let's have at it. Help if I had my tape measure, wouldn't it? Oh, and for the record, if you see me in my sandals, I just got my brand new Earth Runners. I'm so excited. And when you use these minimalist barefoot shoes, you can read about that in my other blog posts, my journey. I'm testing on the straps and wearing them in, so that's why I'm wearing my sandals.
So you probably couldn't see where I was taping because I'm using just a basic masking tape, but I measured at middle through the wall, and then, which is 4 feet, and then I did 40 inches and 32, which is a standard chair rail. So there's the 32. It's not quite as high as I went, so I think I might aim for the 40. Oh, I can't decide if I went it halfway or not, but you can see I've got some discoloration from wear. And the colors, what I'm going to be doing in here, I got the lighting done. Wanting some pinks and reds, and in a really neutral sort of tone, a natural tone. So I'm excited. We'll see.
I think I'm gonna do this. I think I found the color and some inspiration that I've had saved for a while. So now I think I've chosen a mark that's about, I think, remeasured, but I think it's 45 inches up. I'm gonna go around, and normally I could just tape this off and worry about, wavy lines and them meeting up, but because I have these grooves in the panels that I don't want to have to take a little paintbrush and match all that up, I'm going to be putting a thin strip of wood just around, sort of like a chair rail. Let's do this. I also want to add, it'd be really wise if I had a laser level to just go around and then use a chalk string and just mark it, but I'm gonna do it the hard way. I don't want to mess with going and getting a laser level. Just get this done and move on.
This is important for me to add this color. I know you might be thinking, why in the world? But literally, I do need a mental change. And not only that, but also, I've never wanted to live in the city. I've always wanted to be in the country. So I'm not definitely set here and looking to move if the opportunity should arise.
I think it extremely funny that a gal with vertigo is doing a straight line on a wall, or attempting to. I'm tired, and it's getting hot in here because it's 20 degrees in the morning and then 62 degrees in the afternoon. One of those lovely Ohio hormonal changes we get to go through, but I'm gonna keep plugging away here and get this done. Just going on record to say that I don't like this color. It's pretty. It's not what I wanted. It looks similar to my shirt, which is more of a berry. I wanted more of a rusty, dark terracotta, I guess. So I went to the store at 6:30 this morning with Lula. We had fun. And I'm going to give this a different coat. So I'll have a nice can of paint for some other use, but gonna change it up. All right, I will just skip forward and show you what it looks like with the after. That is much better. It's not touched up like, you know, when I took off the tape, and when those spaces in between still need thorough going over, and I gotta do the baseboards, the window trim, and do the touch up on the top cream color there, but this is looking much like what I wanted. I'm excited. I'm glad that I stopped and switched. All my excuse can be for the first color is I have had some oral surgery and was on some pain medication. And actually, when I went into the store, when I was perusing colors, I had my screen blue light filter on, so it was yellowing everything, right? When I went into the store to pick the color, I turned that blue light filter off, so I wasn't going to get the color I was thinking I was getting. So now I've got some extra paint that I can share with somebody, but the room is coming along, and I can't wait to show you what's up next. Okay, my windows. This is called Swan Wing. It's kind of a creamy white. This was white on that. You can see I haven't finished touching up. I do that very last, just go fine tune around everything, but I'm thinking I'm going to try a color that I used in my living room in the little nook area that pushed out little window area. It's kind of a tan beige. I think that might warm this up a bit, and with the other things I have planned with the drapes and all, so I'm gonna try it just in the spot. Let's see what we think.
Let me see if you can see that. Can't quite step back so you can see, but oh, hold on. Too much stuff on the floor. I don't know. Just see how the white frame just doesn't look quite right. So I might just leave that there, stand back and take a look, but I think it would help with what I'm gonna plan to do here. And it's a gorgeous day outside. It's actually 70 degrees. Actually just barely. And for us here in Ohio, it's hot. So we're sweating, loving it. All right. Yay! I'm not done, but I'm done enough. And if you remember, I've said at the beginning, I'm not ecstatic to be back in here. I'm glad to have the room done. We'll be moving in when I don't have a bed yet. I wanted to see how this all came together. I wanted to just kind of get a feel. I have some bedding picked out and just waiting to make everything flow together. So I'll probably drag my mattress in here that I have from in the closet and get used to being in here, because like I mentioned before, the closet was a place for me to just find a spot of rest. And it was quiet, really quiet in there. And on this end of the house, there's a lot of wind and weather that hit this side. There's a neighbor closer by I can hear, there's dogs. So yeah, be an adjustment time, especially for Lula, who's only ever slept at the foot of my mattress in the closet, so I'll have to figure out her in here. I also am debating on making this kind of a studio slash place as well, having some functional furniture, not just a bed, but I don't need a dresser. I have a closet, I have the wardrobe that I've kept, even the shelves in there, which I also don't know what I'm going to do with those, so more to come. But I'm excited with the color scheme, the color block, and love the way it's looking, and invite you to follow along, because I will probably jump from this project to something else that I already have started while I'm looking for the bedroom stuff, because I have things I want to get done. I know you know how that goes. And again, invite you to sign up for my free email newsletter so you can be in the know when things are happening, and just keep in touch, because you can't always trust social media and the things like that. All right, ask some questions down below in the comments if you like, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Yay! I'm not done, but I'm done enough. And if you remember, I've said at the beginning, I'm not ecstatic to be back in here. I'm glad to have the room done. We'll be moving in when I don't have a bed yet. I wanted to see how this all came together. I wanted to just kind of get a feel. I have some bedding picked out and just waiting to make everything flow together. So I'll probably drag my mattress in here that I have from in the closet and get used to being in here because, like I mentioned before, the closet was a place for me to just find a spot of rest. And it was quiet, really quiet in there. And on this end of the house, there's a lot of wind and weather that hit this side. There's a neighbor closer by I can hear. There's dogs. So yeah, be an adjustment time, especially for Lula, who's only ever slept at the foot of my mattress in the closet. So I'll have to figure out her in here. I also am debating on making this kind of a studio / place as well. Having some functional furniture, not just the bed, but I don't need a dresser. I have a closet. I have the wardrobe that I've kept, even the shelves in there, which I also don't know what I'm going to do with those. So more to come, but I'm excited with the color scheme, the color block, and love the way it's looking, and invite you to follow along because I will probably jump from this project to something else that I already have started while I'm looking for the bedroom stuff because I have things I want to get done. I know you know how that goes. And again, invite you to sign up for my free email newsletter so you can be in the know when things are happening, and just keep in touch because you can't always trust social media and the things like that. All right, ask some questions down below in the comments if you like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.